that I have seen so many women that are in their 40s, their 50s, and beyond really become great dieters. Like they were conditioned to be really good dieters, and it was easy for them to step into that diet culture because it was so all around them. Um, and even if that person has stepped away from chronic dieting, you may still be working through some of those emotional eating pieces and wondering how to get a hold of that. Are there any first responses or places that somebody can start if they would either label themselves as a chronic dieter or if it's someone who really gets stuck in that emotional eating pattern?
That is such a powerful question too, because there is an automatic response for people who have been doing this forever. The automatic response is the instant gratification. And what's really interesting is all of this started before cell phones, text, email, instant messaging, social media. All of this actually started before that. So imagine that now we are so used to in our society drive through for food. You can have your food delivered to you. You can get takeout in 10 minutes. And so our whole world is built on this, I'm going to get this done fast. But this is also part of how our feelings are for our bodies. When we look in the mirror, when we don't feel good about ourselves, we want to fix it right now. And that attitude has been carried on for years. So it is an instant diet. It is an instant diet situation. However, it's also an instant worth situation. Our society has set everyone up to think you are worthy if one, you can look this certain way, or you can lose this 20 pounds. Think about the compliments that people get. Oh, you lost weight. And in our society now, we're trying really hard to not be body focused and say things about people's bodies because we really don't know how that was done. We don't know if they're not feeling well. We don't know if they did it in a healthy way. Just noticing the bodies in general, we're trying to be so much more sensitive to that. But think about what the culture was. If somebody said, hey, you lost weight, if you have disordered eating, you're just like, yes, this is great. I'm doing the right thing. That's what makes me worthy. And then we just keep going with it. So we do click in to this instant feeling of, I can make this happen. I'm going to do it. The problem is we also immediately feel like a failure when the dieting doesn't work. And women, like you said, women in their 40s and 50s have been dieting for 20 to 30 years. So what I tell them is if you've gone on 5 diets, at least 4 of them have failed because you're on the 5th diet. There's no reason to go on another diet if something worked. What would happen if you could change this where you could learn to say flow is okay? The biggest thing is having someone learn to love their bodies in transition. So to know that, yes, this might take me 6 months or a year, but I'm going to love myself every day anyway. I am a really good dieter, but I'm clearly not that good because I can't keep it off. But that's what society and that's what marketing wants to tell you. You're not that good at it. So buy another one. Go ahead and buy another one because that one, you couldn't do that one. So we'll get you one that you can do. That's not really how it works. And when you love yourself, you can slow down and listen and break free and actually start to see the changes. But I'll tell you what, I have clients come in and some of them who have not figured that out yet and they're still learning it. And it's okay because that's part of the process. They will say, yes, I've been doing, these things for a week and I don't see any changes. But that's what our world is about. That's what diet culture is telling us. They're really good at thinking that they're going to just see changes in a week or two instead of tuning in. Well, do I feel better? Am I sleeping better? Do I have more energy? Is my skin looking good? So those are the things that I see.
So essentially, you're saying unplug from marketing. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. Well, and plug from the things that make you feel less than. That's what I feel. I feel like you can stick in there with things that make you feel empowered and feel uplifted and give you hope. But when you're plugging into things that are basically going off of your fear or unrealistic expectations, and I'm going to say this is kind of going out there, but transformation photos are really scary to me because again, you don't know the story. You only know the before, the after. You don't know the timing. You don't know how long they worked out every day. You don't know what they ate or didn't eat during the day. And you don't know if they kept it off. And so I think that's a very dangerous place to be, to look at your own body. And if you don't want to look at the scale, that's okay. Go by how your clothes feel. Go, is your belly feeling better? Are you not as bloated? All those things I listed before, like your skin, there's so many other indicators that you're listening and tuning in and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and pulling all of those indicators and all of those outside things, do you feel that intuitive eating is also an essential part of releasing the mentality of dieting and doing that for good?
Yes, I think so. I think intuitive eating, because it's everything, it's the entire framework. I think it's such a great way for people to move forward and listen to themselves. You're the expert. Your body is your body. You know better than anyone. And if anybody's ever, thought about health advocacy, when there's something going on, your doctor's not listening or anybody else is not listening, you would say, I know something's going on. So now's the time to listen. And I think intuitive eating really helps with that.
Kim, this has been amazing. So, can you share any ways to start slowing down and becoming more connected to your food so that we can step a little deeper into intuitive eating, especially if this is your first go at it?
Yes, if it's your first go at it, the first day is just to be aware. Just watch your patterns and maybe even do that for, a week or so before you say, I'm going to change any of the actual eating habits. Just have the habit of being aware, journaling, and really pay attention. When I come home at the end of the day, why do I go to the pantry? Maybe you don't have a good work to home transition. Maybe you're working at home and doing that because you have no transition. Look at the pattern. We all have a habit cycle and we all do the same things over and over again. And every time we have certain feelings, we do the same things over and over again. So awareness is number one. The second one is, again, when you are eating, I always tell people it's great when you sit down at a meal to have gratitude over your meal. That immediately slows you down, but it also makes you so thankful for the food, wherever it came from, whatever it is. And then it makes you immediately tune in that you're happy to have it. You're not just scarfing it down because it's dinner time or you're running out the door. Do not eat on the phone or in front of the TV if possible, because that completely takes your mind away from your food. I want you to enjoy your food. And then go back to that 3-bite rule. And when you're done, again, tell yourself you're satisfied and maybe even say some gratitude to yourself for feeling those hunger cues. And that's a whole nother thing that I do with clients, is really cueing in to understanding satiety, fullness, and hunger cues.